All right, today we're going to pop the hood on a trading tool that makes a pretty bold claim. It uses AI. We're going to deconstruct the ultimate Gann AI indicator piece by piece to see what that AI really is. Let's get into it. So when you hear AI in trading, you're probably picturing some kind of sci-fi thinking machine, right? But the reality? Well, it's usually less about artificial intelligence and more about a very specific, incredibly strict set of rules. Our mission today is to figure out exactly what those rules are. And this is the guy we're looking at today, the ultimate Gann AI indicator. It's built to analyze the market and make automated decisions, from finding an entry to setting your exits. Think of it less like an all-knowing pilot and more like a pre-programmed co-pilot that follows its flight plan to the letter.
You know, the best way to think about this kind of AI is like a recipe. It's not magic. It's a chef following very, very specific instructions, and it will not serve you up a buy or sell signal unless every single ingredient is there. So let's step into the kitchen and see what's on the menu.
Okay, so first things first. The most crucial ingredient in our entire recipe is something called the Gann level. Literally everything else this system does is built right on top of this. Before it even thinks about anything else, the indicator's first job is to find this one key price level.
So what is a Gann level? Well, just think of it as a super important line on the chart that comes from a simple math formula using squared numbers. It's the indicator's main line in the sand. A trade is only even possible if the price is behaving correctly around this one level.
And get this, here's the code. This is the secret sauce. And it's not so secret after all, is it? It just takes a number, squares it, and makes sure the result is odd. That's it. That simple formula creates the foundational level for the entire strategy. It's a perfect example of how complex-looking tools can come from really simple rules.
So all that math, all that code, what does it give us? This, just one single clean line on the chart. This is the very first test the market has to pass. The AI is basically asking one simple question. Is the price above this line, or is it below? Okay, so we've got our line in the sand, our foundation. But that's not enough, right? A single line doesn't tell you the whole story. So the next layer of logic is all about understanding the bigger picture. What's the market doing right now? It focuses on two things: trend and liquidity.
First up, it's got to figure out which way the wind is blowing. Is the market going up or down? It does this by looking for what's called a break of structure, or BOS. Basically, if the price smashes past a recent high, the indicator calls it an uptrend. If it breaks below a recent low, that's a downtrend. Simple as that.
And you can see in the code just how well black and white this is. A bull trend? That's just a yes if the current price closes above the last highest high. A bear trend? You guessed it, a yes if it closes below the last lowest low. It's a completely binary yes or no definition of the market's direction. Okay, next up, the indicator is looking for something called a liquidity sweep. This is a really cool concept. Imagine the market making a quick, short move just below a recent low or just above a recent high. It's like a little poke, designed to trigger a bunch of other orders. Our AI sees this as a huge clue that a bigger move might be coming.
So how does it actually know a sweep happened? Well, for the lows, it's just asking a simple question. Did the current candle's low price just dip below the absolute lowest point we've seen in the last 10 candles? If the answer is yes, boom, that's our liquidity event. Checkbox ticked.
All right, deep breaths. We have our foundation, the Gann level. We have our market context, we know the trend, and we're watching for a liquidity event. Now it's time for the main event, the moment where all these separate pieces have to come together perfectly to actually generate a trade signal.
And this is where you really see the discipline of the AI. It's not about feelings or maybes. This thing is incredibly strict. It's running an all-or-nothing checklist, and it will only give a signal if all four conditions are met at the exact same time, no exceptions.
So for a buy signal, here's the four-part recipe. You need all four. Number one, the trend has to be bullish. Number two, our recent low has to get swept. Number three, we need to see a specific candle pattern, a bullish engulfing one. And finally, number four, the price has to be above our foundational Gann level. All four, or it's no deal.
And there it is, one single line of code. This is literally the brain of the whole operation. It's just a simple chain of ands. Is the trend bullish? And was there a sweep? And do we have an engulfing candle? And is the price above the Gann level? If it gets 4 yeses, and only then, we get our signal.
But wait,
getting the signal is only half the story, right? A truly automated system doesn't just tell you when to get in, it tells you what to do next. So the second those 4 conditions are met, the indicator's job isn't over. It immediately lays out the entire trade plan for you.
And this cable just lays it all out, plain and simple. Look at this logic. For a buy trade, the entry is the closing price, plus a tiny little buffer. The stop loss is the candle's low, minus a similar buffer. And the take profit, it's automatically calculated based on a fixed 1.5 risk-to-reward ratio. It's just pure, emotionless math.
So after all of that hard work, calculating the Gann level, checking the trend, watching for sweeps, and running the 4-point checklist, how does this all get presented to you, the trader? Well, it all gets boiled down into this super simple, at-a-glance dashboard right on your chart. And this dashboard tells you everything you need to know. The trend line, that says if the system thinks we're bullish or bearish. Liquidity, that's a simple yes or no. Did a sweep just happen? And then the big one, signal, gives you the final command from the checklist. Buy, sell, or, and this is what it says most of the time, wait. And just to bring it all home, let's look at the code one last time. You can see right here how it builds that little text box. It's not magic, it's just plugging in the results of all the logical checks we just walked through. That is the final, human-readable output of this entire system.
So, after peeling back every single layer, we can see that this AI isn't a thinking brain at all. It's a highly disciplined mechanical strategist. It follows its recipe without getting scared, without getting greedy, without ever deviating. And that leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about. Does a strict, completely emotionless rule set like this one ultimately make for a better trader?